Yes, and now it's my honor to introduce the hero of the day. Come on up, from the Church of Perpetual Life. He's actually not going to talk about the Wi-Fi. He's going to talk about his organization. Here he is.
Well, I don't feel like a hero, but I hope that some of you have Wi-Fi. I don't know. But anyway, well, I'm with Perpetual Life, and I don't want the word church to throw you off. Okay, so I just call it Perpetual Life. Perpetual Life is all about radical life extension. It's all about cryonics. It's all about reversing the aging process. That's what Perpetual Life is. And I know many of you, as soon as you see the word church, you came to the table, you saw the word church, and you ran away. So I'm going to invite all of you who ran away to come back at another time today to visit with us so that I can talk with you about Perpetual Life and forget about the church part. So I'm not going to go on much longer than that. The website is churchofperpetuallife.org. I have some booklets over here for you that I brought so that you can learn a little bit about radical life extension that we're doing there in Hollywood, Florida. So that's all I have to say for you tonight. Thank you.
We're going to have one more group. It's a group. We're going to have our first group. It's the Robotics Club from Terra Nova High School in Pacifica. Where are they? Are they here? Come on out. Here they are. Here they are.
I'm Andy, and we're the Terra Nova High School Robotics Program from Pacifica, California, and we are the future. And we'd like to tell you about our after-school robotics program.
So, as many of you probably know, there's been a big push for STEM education, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. Unfortunately, this is a much more realistic depiction of it, where technology and engineering get little to no time in schools. And this is where robot design comes in.
We compete in an organization called FIRST, which stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. This was founded by Dean Kamen, who also invented the Segway. Within FIRST, there's 4 different levels. There's Junior First LEGO League for elementary schools, First LEGO League for middle schools, and First Tech Challenge and First Robotics Competition for high schools. Terra Nova Robotics started out as a First LEGO League or FLL team. In FLL, there's one team that competes on a 4 by 8 foot field. A match in FLL consists of 2.5 minutes of autonomous, which is pre-programmed instructions. There's a new game challenge each year, so in the match, robots have to navigate throughout the field using sensors to pick up rings and bring them back to base.
The level we compete in now is FTC, or First Tech Challenge, as Andy said earlier. FTC teams compete on a 12 by 12 foot field with 4 robots on the field at once, with them divided into 2 alliances, red and blue. This is a picture from last year's game challenge, Ring It Up, where robots had to grab rings from ring dispensers on the side of the field and then score them on a pegboard in the middle of the field.
So at the beginning of a match, we have a 30-second period called autonomous. So this is where the team pre-programs the robot to perform a specific task. And it uses an infrared sensor to seek an infrared beacon, and then it scores. This video is kind of particularly unique because only our robot is performing autonomous, but usually robots do perform autonomous.
After the autonomous period, there's 2 minutes of teleop or driver control period. In teleop, drivers pick up their controllers and the robots pick up scoring elements and try to score them. There's a lot of defense that goes on in matches, so teams have to strategize beforehand. In our league, there's limited materials of what we can use. We use a Lego Mindstorms processor and various wires and motors. We're allowed to use any raw materials, so we can use aluminum and machine it to anything we want.
So the programming language that we use is called Robot C, and this is a version of regular C with additional functions for robots.
Another thing that we use is CAD, or computer-aided design, and the function of CAD is to basically design the robot within the computer without having to actually physically build it. And one really helpful point of CAD is being able to show people certain mechanisms of the robot that you otherwise wouldn't be able to show them.
As a documenter, we have to maintain an engineering notebook. The notebook keeps track of the engineering process throughout the season.
So every year, FTC also has different challenges, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be the same robot. In the picture, the robot on the right uses a lift to score, but the robot on the left has a giant arm to reach other robots and then score. This year's challenge is to pick up blocks off the floor and then score them into baskets. And to accomplish this, our robot has 3 main areas. We have swerve drive for mobility, we have a conveyor system to take up blocks and then score into baskets, and then we have an incline lift to hang on a pull-up bar at the end of the game. Our robot, swerve drive, started with turning sprockets, added the chain, wheel gears and sprockets, chains, then the wheels themselves. We have drive sprockets, chains, wheel casters to hold the wheel in place, worm gears to turn the chain, motors to turn the worm gears, drive motors, and then the chassis. And then for the conveyor, we have 22 block conveyor wheels, gears, the frame, 3D printed block aligners, and then the motors. And then for the lift, we have, I can't really see it here, but we have lift motors here, winches. We have 3 stages, 1, 2, 3, with hooks to hang on the pull-up bar, and then pulleys and cables to drive this. And then for the overall robot, we have the main 12-volt battery, power switch, motor controllers, the NXT processor, wireless communication, sensor multiplexer, which the multiplexer allows us to have many sensors, 9-volt batteries, prototyping board, which also allows us to have many sensors, gyroscope, infrared, and full color sensors, block intake, and then its motors, and then upper frame with a flag turner, LEDs, sides, protective sides. FTC teams, robots, are required to fit within an 18-inch size limit, and so this is our starting position.
Throughout the season, many teams such as ours mentor other teams. So here we mentor 2 FLL teams. We've also mentored teams in our league, both in building their robots and in CAD.
Another thing that teams in our league do is do community outreach. This is where we go and let people drive our robots around so they can get interested and excited about STEM. We also do presentations much like this one. This is a picture of a corporate outreach event where we were at Google. And this is an example of a peer education presentation at the kickoff. The kickoff is where the game challenge is released every year. And a peer education presentation is where we share our experience with other FTC teams. So FIRST is a very worldwide organization. You can see that in this picture of the 2010 European Championships in Istanbul, which we were able to go to. And we were able to advance to the 2011 World Championships. And in 2012, we were the world champions in robot design. And last year, we were the Northern Nevada State Champions in robot design as well.
Woo-hoo! We also were the Northern California State Champions in the same year, which advanced us to the World Championships. Just last week, we took 2nd place at the Northern California State Championships, which will advance us to the Western U.S. Championship.
So we're Terra Nova Robotics. When we're done presenting, our robot will be out in the lobby if you want to get a closer look at it. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. ask them. Yes.
Okay, at full tilt, for how long will the charge last? And that is 12 volts, it's running the motivational power, yes?
So the question was how long do our batteries last and if the 12 volt gives us the main power. So yeah, the 12 volt powers all of our motors and motor controllers, and the maxes are only 2.5 minutes. So usually a charge on a battery can last about 5 to 10 minutes, but yeah, so the battery's only made to last 2.5 minutes.
One more thing, how much does it weigh?
So the question was how much does a robot weigh? Our robot weighs about 53 pounds. Any other questions?
So you're going to be set up in that room, right? So you can go in and ask them questions. We're going to have a 15-minute break now. I want to tell you what's available at this break. We have Caesar salad, and there's a bearded man with a big knife in there who has cooked up all the steak. And you can go and just walk in the kitchen, take out your small bills, get a big plate of food, leave us some money. It's going to be very informal. And we're going to start again in about 15 minutes.